Welcome one, welcome all, welcome near, welcome far, welcome to the world's greatest sports podcast, the Somebody Said podcast. Let me take a sip before we start.
You need a moment of silence too?
Rest in peace to the Florida State Seminoles, I guess.
No, it ain't even all of that, man. It ain't all of that.
It's every bit of that right now.
That's terrible, man.
Before we delve into it, we got a packed show. We got NFL. We got college. Asha's in the flesh with a gripe. It's gonna be spicy, and she's sipping
too.
So you already know what time we on. But before we get into all of that, this episode is brought to you by the Red Lady Rum Punch, the official beverage of the Somebody Said podcast. Pop it, sip it, enjoy it. Also, we are sponsored by Window to Wall Solution, where they build a dream home for a reality price. From the trap to the top, they got you.
Like and subscribe. Oh, and we're up.
We're up. All right.
We up.
All right. Like I said, we got Asha's gripe, college. It was an exciting week of college, man. Some good games outside of maybe one in particular and a few others, but it was some really good games. I caught most of it, and I hope y'all did too. We got to touch on the Noles and what's going on with them. Miami looks really good. We got cousin Matt in the building. His Gamecocks didn't look that good against Old Dominion, so I kind of want to hear your thoughts on your Gamecocks because for what they are on NCAA, I didn't see any of that.
They got to redo them. They got to patch that up, man.
Yeah, they got to update the ratings, man, because that's crazy. But we'll touch into that briefly and some other games that kind of caught our attention or we thought was intriguing. I did want to throw out a stat of the week before we get into Asha's gripe. And my stat of the week is Arizona wide receiver, Breeze, correct me if I'm wrong with the name, Tatario McMillan.
Something like that.
Tatario McMillan.
Tatori, I don't.
He's Samoan. Had 10 catches.
Call him T-Mac.
10 catches, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think he's probably the best receiver in the country, or at least one of the best receivers in the country. You could throw Travis Hunter up there, who had a really good first game, but that stat was kind of crazy for me. I don't know if you guys saw any other stats out there that was kind of mind-boggling. I don't know if you want to save them or bring them up now before we get into Asha's gripe.
No,
you
can save them. Yeah, I got some numbers.
I got
good numbers, Paul. Good numbers.
Nah, I ain't got no good numbers. all my numbers are bad.
All right.
Same. I have a not good number, not for any of our teams. The Oregon Ducks attempted 49 pass attempts and only put up 24 points playing host to Idaho. I don't know if we're going to have time to dig into that, but it's just not good. If you're throwing the ball 49 times, you're playing Idaho at home in your season opener, that's not good. Oregon looks shaky, man. I don't know if we got time to get into it tonight, but Oregon looks shaky.
Ask Xavier, babe.
We'll ask Xavier.
Ask Xavier.
Seminoles threw 43 and put up 13, so it's not that.
We're not talking those yet, and we're not.
All right. Without further ado, shout out to, like I said, like, share, subscribe, tune in, comment. Give us the bash, give us the good, the bad, the ugly. We're here for it. Asha, I'm gonna go ahead and pan it over to you. I know you got a lot on your mind, and you got a red cup in your hand, so that could only mean trouble. So let's get it. We don't have a fancy intro for you this week. When we go live,
we just here.
Raw dogging it.
We just here. You got a banner.
Okay. Thank you for my banner. So here we are. I subscribe for the week. I'm not gonna stay too long on the Noles. Y'all know I had said before the season started we was gonna go undefeated, but obviously week 0 that was blown out the water. I want DJ U gone. I don't know if that's if that's a such thing. I don't really look at recruiting. I'm just a girl, so I don't know about recruiting anything like that. But I need DJU up out of here. Like he gotta go. He was standing in that pocket like he lied on his resume. I can see it all in his eyes. There's no there's absolutely no way that your ball is getting tipped at 6'6", my guy. Like I don't care what the circumstances are. I don't know what you're doing. I'm so sorry. But like I said, I know you the guys are gonna get more in depth with it. I've been with FSU through the Willie Taggart stages, so I'm not still too mad just yet. Just yet. I think I got one more game in me, so I'm gonna get picked. Adam Fuller can get up out of there. I've been saying that since every season. He can get up on out of there. How I understand that this is the first time y'all playing Boston College this year, and you have to learn the defense, but you made no adjustments. Some boys out there running a wheel route every single time they got the ball. I don't understand. But like I said, I'm gonna table that for later on because I am
Won't be tabled
very
for long.
Nah, we
That's a
we gonna
short
bring
table.
yeah.
So I did want to get into three or four things. So the first thing is shout out to Angel Reese for having the most rebounds in the WNBA.
Shocktown Barbie.
Asia Wilson is a 1,000 points away from having the most score points in the WNBA as well. Shout out to her. I guess shout out. No, I'm not doing that. No, that's not for my segment. Um, so that was one thing. The second thing was something that's kind of serious. Ashley Watkins that plays for USC got arrested for assault. From what I've been reading, is like everybody's name and all the witnesses have been redacted from the report, and I'm not sure why. But it from what I've been reading, it looks as they got into a fight over somebody cheating. And I hope that comes to the end eventually. I think her first trial date is in October. As since she got arrested, she will be suspended. I'm not sure how many games and anything like that, but she definitely will be suspended. So my heart goes out to the victims involved, and I hope everything gets resolved and everybody gets to move on with unscathed.
And I guess for those of you who don't know who she is, she was, I want to say, a star forward on the South Carolina Gamecocks women's national championship team.
Oh, yeah.
She's 6'3".
Matt, she's a sophomore, true sophomore.
She'll be a junior or a senior. I think she might be a senior. She would have been a senior this year, I think. It was her time to shine this year. She'd have been a starting center or power forward this year. But
she's 6'3". Yep.
She ain't dead, is she? Y'all talking past tense like the girl in the coffin or something.
No, I mean
we suspended somebody last year for like grades, and she wasn't able to play the whole season. So you doing something like this? I mean, allegedly,
everything is alleged.
Yeah. As of right now, she's not with the team, so we can just go with who we have.
OJ did it.
The other thing was, bless you. Another thing was like in my nerdy bag. One of I think he's a tight end for the Colts. He wore the gridiron cap over his helmet, and it helps to negate concussion during the times that you're hit. And he was getting flat for it because everybody's like, well, why would you wear it? It's not cool. It doesn't look good, anything like that. And basically he was just saying it's to protect me and lowers the risk chances of them getting CTE and getting concussions during the game. And I think it's brilliant. Now the NFL is saying that the NFL players have a choice to wear it during the games or not. So it's been something that's been like, I guess, during training camps and practices that they've been trying to wear and trying to see if it works or trying to see if it gets in the way of the players, if it's too heavy, if it messes up the eyesight. He said it's not heavy, doesn't mess up his eyesight, anything like that. They found a significant decrease in the amount of concussions that these players get while wearing this hat during the game.
See, my thing with that is for the players that are saying it's not cool or whatever. Hey, give me everything I need, my G. Like it was some people that I played football with that didn't wear knee pads. Like I need my pads because at the end of the day, football means, or the NFL means, not for long. So you want to be able to live longer after the fact, and a lot of these, especially CTE, doesn't pop up right away. It could pop up years after the fact. So I don't think it should be like a choice. It should be mandated. Like you should wear this because shouldn't it it's like the NFL protecting the brand, right? You start losing people to CTE from your game. It's not a good look. You're not promoting your game in the right light. Now, if you have something that's being developed to prevent a lot of those kind of, long-term injuries to the brain, why not implement that as a mandate instead of making it a choice?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you can mandate it. First of all, the NFL right now is creating or gaining a perception that they're taking away the game we knew and loved when we grew up. Right? There's already a lot of complaints about the game being neutered, or they're basically playing flag football. You can't breathe on a quarterback anymore. And I think there are a lot of fans who have been around the game who already don't like some of the changes and the way that they're protecting, the players and the brand in certain ways. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's hideous. I don't want to see it. Now, if a guy wants to do it, that's his perspective. That's his own prerogative, and I won't knock anybody for trying to protect themselves. Those guys are providers of their families, right? And they want to protect themselves. I think that's cool and that's fine. Go work in finance. I don't have to worry about head injuries working in finance. If you're that concerned, go do something.
That is very
I know
selfish.
people jokingly say that, like, I mean. But it's a choice. It's
That's
all a
hideous.
choice.
It is very
Like,
selfish.
NFL, being paid millions to play a game is a choice,
But
and
you
it's a
all,
privilege. And if you
but
aren't
it's
willing to
also,
accept in terms of what it takes, then don't do it.
but it's also, even though this is something that you choosing to play, you also shouldn't have to choose to have CTE as well. Like that is the effects of CTE once these players are done playing is horrific. I think they have compared it being worse than like PTSD. And the thing about CTE is not diagnosed until the players are dead, and so is no treatment for these players before they are dead when they are experiencing CTE symptoms. My unprofessional opinion, I have never cut on a brain. I'm not I don't work on the brain or anything like that. However, I do think CTE do show up early stages from what you've been playing in high school and from what you played in college. It does show up as signs and symptoms, but nobody knows that it's CTE until these players are actually dead. I don't think these players should have to play 10 seasons or 7 seasons, 5 seasons, and then come out of it and I'm fighting to get health insurance because now my kidney's messed up, or I'm fighting to get health insurance because my liver is messed up. When we work in these jobs, there's like when you work in finance or whatever, if I come down with an ailment, I'm still able to get to have insurance that help me carry me through these ailments that I have for myself. So to say
Hold
that,
on. That's a different conversation, though. Hold on, wait. Giving them medical care versus playing in a bubble wrap around their head is a different conversation.
So Breeze.
I would never be that. I just playing devil's advocate. I dropped out.
So Breeze, your only gripe, you're back. Your only gripe towards that is the way that it looks. Because I'm sure this is the first stage of it. So I'm sure they could develop a more attractive one.
They got ugly helmets now. You guys know how much I hate that Ant-Man looking helmet that they have now with the big visor in the front. It's
the Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
it's a biker helmet.
It's safer, but it's ugly.
But look how it started out. You started out with a T-bone, the one bar, and over time it evolved. So just because you don't like it because it's ugly, that's not a good reason not to wear it. I'm sure they'll develop better looking ones if that's the biggest gripe against it.
And it's an option, right? I mean, you don't have to wear it. So if somebody chooses that option for their safety, why not use it? You know what I mean?
Right.
I think are bulletproof vests mandatory for cops to wear? Like, do they have to go out in the field in a bulletproof vest? I don't think that they do, but it'd be smart to. Right? So if you have a choice, if my choice is to stay safe, I'm going to stay safe. I don't see why not. Is it ugly? There's a lot of things that are ugly, right? Some people that wear the big shoulder pads still. It's ugly, but it's safe. Be safe.
LeBron and Kobe had the mask at one point. They wore masks. They didn't look good, but you know.
Listen, man. I think I sent Herman Omar a something on Instagram. Mercedes Lewis is about to go into his 19th year in the league, which is ridiculous.
That's crazy. And
he plays tight end. He doesn't play some rinky-dink position. That man is out there banging every single game. I guarantee he does everything possible to keep himself healthy and safe these 19 years. There's no way he should play 19 years in the NFL at tight end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and it once again, back in my nerdy bag, it's basically like your brain is basically it's protected by your skull, but it's nothing else there to like your brain is just basically just sloshing around in your head. So every time you get hit, it's a slosh, and every time you get hit, it's a slosh. And by him being a tight end or being if you're a running back as well, I was watching the game and the running back got hit twice, even though he wasn't hurt anything, but he got hit twice. You can hear it over the TV, him getting hit in his head twice. So it's just like I said, I just don't think it's fair to say like you shouldn't play if you don't like to get hit hard or anything like that. Like nobody wants to come off the field every single time because of a concussion. Like I don't mind these kids. I don't mind kids if SJ grow up and say, "Yeah, I want to play football." I don't mind him playing football. What I do mind is him be out that field laid out with a concussion. And as his mom, as a nurse, I know what that looks like. So you're not just gonna throw my son back out there, even though I know he wants to go back out there. But it has to be safety precautions in place for these men to play football. Like I get that it's quote unquote getting soft, but some of these men have Parkinson's disease and all this type of stuff as they get older. We don't hear about it because they weren't the top dogs in the league, so we don't hear about it. It's just something like we just have to kind of like find these people, and that's what they look. That's what they have. They have these elements. So just like we can't love them when they're on the field, and just like, oh, get that soft stuff out of here, and we'll see you later. Like I don't think that's fair. I think the majority of other players probably won't wear it because it's not a fashion statement.
I was just about to. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was saying I agree with pretty much everything that y'all have said about the Guardian cap, and like I already mentioned, cops go to have the bulletproof vest, or if you're working in a restaurant, they tell you like wear like the non-slip shoes. You don't have to; it's recommended because you might bust your butt in the establishment. So same as a football player, like you're going to be crashing your head against so many different objects. Your own shoulder pads, your teammate's shoulder pads, the opponent's shoulder pads, helmets, whatever. So like, what's the harm of the cap? You know what I'm saying? Especially with like Denzel Ward just talked about, he has like 5 concussions. He's had 5 concussions, and he's like, well, I gotta provide for my family. But it's like, dog, you won't be around for your family with all these concussions. What's to say like you can wear the cap, and like Sean said, this is the first model. They can make it look better. They can probably even possibly just put it inside the helmet, or like make it a little bit more spacious and put it inside the helmet so it's not an ugly thing. Who cares though? Like Steph Curry wears ankle braces. They look like ankle monitors for his ankles. Who cares? Like I have to help because I'm the best at what I do. I gotta provide for my family. I have to basically use all resources in order for me to do that. I don't think it takes away from the game because you're still gonna be getting hit hard. It's just a little bit less impact.
You know what? It's
good.
You know what it also reminds me of, Matt? Like even right now in baseball, if you look back, there used to not be batting helmets. They just went up in a cap.
Okay, that's crazy.
A couple of times. Well, now we got a helmet, right? I see guys now that the base runners, they have the protective gloves over their hands. right? I see some guys. I think Giancarlo Stanton. He has the extra piece down here to protect his face. He got hit in the face and shattered his jaw.
He didn't like it.
Ugly, but I
always say this one thing. Yep.
you know, schemes that hit you in the face with a 104-mile-an-hour fastball. So I wear an extra piece on there, or the ankle braces, or the elbow pads, or whatever. It's smart, right?
Yeah.
You get an object hurled at you at 100 miles an hour. Do whatever I can to protect my body, so I can continue to play the game that I love. Again, it's all optional. You don't have to wear it.
Yeah.
All it boils down to. Yeah, all it boils down to is just the evolution of sports. Like, you know, you started out watching basketball back in the day. They was playing in Chucks and like shoes that wasn't comfortable to play in. You know, sports evolve, equipment evolve over time. Nothing, you know, really stays the same. So I think it's a great idea. I don't have
Omar's got this. I'm surprised Breeze has this feeling. I'm supposed to be the get off my lawn guy right now. He's my day guy.
He's trying to be a contrarian.
Yeah, like it's in. I was saying it just like help. Like most people don't even get one concussion in their life. This man already had 5. Like that's wild. So and basically going off of that, my last point is I wanted to get you all's opinion on the speaker in the helmet. When me and Aunt was watching the games this weekend, we were watching the LSU versus USC game, and one of the issues they were having still was they couldn't hear in the helmet. They couldn't hear the plays that was being called from their coach, so the time would take down, and the coach would end up having to call a timeout because everybody, like the players weren't lined up correctly, the play wasn't being called correctly, so they had to still call a timeout for the players to come to the side to get to get everybody organized as to what play was being called next. And I kept seeing that actually through a lot of the bigger games that had a lot of noise involved. That USC LSU game was played in Las Vegas. So it was like, I think they said the loudest that it got in the stadium was like 114 decibels. So it was like really, really loud. To the point like nobody could really hear what was going on. So I wanted to get you all's opinion about the helmet speakers and how you all feel about them.
In all honesty, I think I asked the fellas about this last week if they noticed anything, which I figured we wouldn't really see a change until maybe a couple weeks, a couple games have passed. See if it really is making a difference. I think for the most part, I think it's more of a crutch than anything else. I think that the guys that can play quarterback don't necessarily need it, right? We're gonna touch on a few things, me and Unc, in a little bit. You can say whatever you want to some people, they're still not going to be able to get it, right? You can try to help and spoon feed guys all you want to. Now, if there's a Caleb Williams, for example, if I can talk to Caleb up until 15 seconds, if I have to point one or two things out, it's probably just a refresher for him. He knows how to play quarterback. I think for the other guys who need to use it, I worry if it's going to be more of a crutch and a hindrance than anything. You know what I mean? I don't know how much information you can pump in there and how it'll affect the game. When I asked you guys about it last week, it was more about the way that I guess the game speed, right? Because now all of a sudden you see guys, instead of them coming up to the line, they're hearing everything. Where before, you sit back, see the defense. Now everybody turns and looks over to the sideline. How is that going to change the game more than? Is it making these quarterbacks really play quarterback, or just depend on some guy to tell them what coverage is what?
And I want to ask, and I directly want to ask Omar. He had one of the big games this week with UM playing UF. Like, how did you feel about the speakers in the helmets? Do you feel as if like I know the crowd gets really loud, and it still seemed like they were having trouble hearing what was being said, so they had to like close their helmets real tight to hear what was being said. So I also wanted to direct this question directly at you because you had one of the bigger games this weekend as well.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I like it. One, I think I've been pulling for the college organization to implement it for a while. The NFL has done it for years. I think it's very interesting that this comes out right after the Connor Stallions documentary comes out, and they talk about how literally every major team is stealing signs. Every major team has somebody who basically their job is to learn the other team's signs and try to steal them. We've heard about teams going into the playoffs, going to play Clemson. And they're like, yeah, well, we know Dabo and them, they steal signs, so we had to come up with dummy signs. Or TCU in that game against Michigan. Oh, they were so worried about Michigan stealing signs. Well, now it's just playing ball. Ain't nobody stealing no signs. There are no signs to steal. You're talking directly in his helmet. Go make plays, right? And I think I mentioned this last week. I mentioned to see, are any of these high-level coordinators any better or worse all of a sudden now that there's no signals coming from the sideline? There is no sign stealing. Now, call your play. I'm going to call my play, and let's see who wins. So I like that.
I was watching I wasn't watching the Colorado State game. I forgot who they played, but they were getting blown out. And I saw Jay Norvell on the sideline, and he's got someone in front of him holding like a towel up, trying to block his face. I'm like, now they're lip reading. Like, there's always going to be people trying to get or feel like there's someone else is trying to get a competitive edge against them. But at the end of the day, if you could coach, you could play quarterback, you could play middle linebacker. It don't matter whether or not there's sign stealing or, there's an advantage with the helmets. If you can play ball, you can play ball. I mean, initially, I would think it would help the game, move along more efficiently. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of with Pump, because the quarterbacks that don't know how to break down a defense, they're relying on that earpiece to say, hey, look for that cover two, or where you got to go here with the ball, opposed to just a baller that just knows the game and, maybe gets a reminder in his head, watch the clock or something minor, but I don't think it's going to affect the game as much as we think.
You got anything, Matthew?
No, I agree. I mean, same with Pump. You can play quarterback. You play quarterback. I think I just saw a clip or I read something like Joe Burrow at the end of the game, like his headset went out and he just had to call the play. Like he had to just figure it out and do it himself. So it's like, for me, the crowds are going to be loud. You're in a college environment. I mean, this kind of piggybacks off South Carolina. Like, I think with us just communicating strictly by the headset, we can't call plays. I think we legit were stealing signs when we beat Tennessee and Clemson, because we can't call plays. We pick the most inconvenient times to run a draw play, to run a slant. It's just bad coaching. The quarterback is late for like the play call. You can see like y'all really don't know what you're doing. Like, there's no flow to the game. The first 15 plays should be scripted. Boom, boom, boom. Why is it clunky? Why do we need to call a timeout to even kneel the ball? It's like
that's another thing though. That's another thing though. Like, is it exposing the good play callers, so to speak? Is it going to start exposing teams because they can't steal the signs? So that's an interesting point. To see, will you really like that or will you cheat? So that's something to look at.
I think
this is gonna take me out of my gripe into y'all talking about college football this weekend. The fact that 6'6" quarterback missed 3 throws, wide open throws to the end zone. SJ could have did that in his sleep. He does that every night. He tossed the ball to his daddy every night, and his daddy catch the ball. Okay, so my son got that. I want him gone. I want him out of here. I don't know what we got to do to get him out of here. The boosters gonna have to sit down. They're gonna have to talk to him like how they had to talk about Willie, and see if we just can pay that boy out and get him up out of here. Like you 6'6". You can see over everybody.
How tall is he?
6'6". 6'10".
Oh, okay.
6'6" on.
All right.
He tall.
Boy, long.
So that's so. Like I said, that's gonna get me up out of here. That was my gripe this week. I ain't gave up on them yet, but if Mike don't change some things, I'm gonna go ahead and put my towel down. But go Bucks.
Oh my God.
It's the fact that it's week 2 and we already don't want to watch no more college football in this house.
Same over here.
I mean, 2 losses in week 1 is tough.
Yeah, man. That's impressive.
This guy's talking right now.
All right. Gosh, you got anything else for us before we close you out?
Oh, Shayon said we had to have another baby because FSU
Okay.
started losing. I told
All
him
right.
no.
All
I
right.
said that's not gonna happen. Biggie the Savior definitely turns 2 tomorrow. So
Shout out to my
here we
dog.
are.
It was a good run, Biggie.
Yeah, he's slacking right now.
It was a good run, big
We
dog.
need to get back on his job.
I got to create another one, man.
No. You straight, big dog.
All right. Peace.
All right, Ash.
Good night.
All right, see you later. All right, she didn't teed us up, fellas, man. It was an exciting week of college football. Like outside of our misery pump, you gotta appreciate the fact that we got some good ball over the weekend.
We did.
I got a couple games I do want to get into. I'm just gonna open it up with a bang. We're gonna start with Miami and UF. Let's just because that was Miami went into Gainesville and did what they had to do. Like they took care of business. They're the talk of the country. We know what Georgia is. We know what Ohio State is. Bama still looks good, but Miami went out there and put it on Florida. And Breeze, y'all won 41-17 in Gainesville. I think that was the biggest home opening loss maybe in our school history, or second biggest. Either way, that was a big time win for Mario and those guys led by Cam Ward. So I want to kind of give you the floor to kick this thing off and tell me what you saw in that team. And is this obviously you still have to see more from the team, but the fact that the Gators aren't that good and you did what you were supposed to do when you play against a team that's not that good. Normally, you play against a team that's not that good and they're kind of a rival. You play down to the level of their play. And at no point in this game did I see Miami play down to that level. So, hats off to Miami from a Seminole fan. I don't hope this continues, but I can respect it. So, Breeze, I'm gonna hand it over to you and take it where you want to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was, you kind of alluded to what the most impressive thing was. We've seen Miami how many times getting credit preseason. People are talking about, the roster. They got this 5-star, 4-star, whatever, and they come out in a big spot and they lay an egg. So if nothing else, it was nice to see a team that looked prepared. Miami looked like they were ready to play this game. They looked like they were the more physical team. Josh Pate, who was there at the game, sideline, he was like, the physical difference was jarring, were his words. So when's the last time we seen Miami come out and look like we know what we're doing? We look prepared. We look like we know what's going on out here. So I think that was the best thing to see. And then the thing that I've been mentioning, just guys being for better or for worse. Cam Ward, he was who he was. He's a gunslinger. He even said it himself. You're going to get a lot of good. You're going to get some bad, too. He threw a bad pick. But that kind of goes along with, you got to take the little bit of bad that comes with a lot of the good. He ends up going for 385 yards, 3 touchdowns. And they really just dominated this game. As I expected, we won up front. Florida has not had a good offensive line since Dan Mullen was there. Their defensive line has been bad for a while. They got all the body types. Pause. The dudes, they look like a prototypical NFL D-line, but nobody's aggressive. Nobody's winning one-on-ones. They have 0 pass rush, which I thought. I posted a video online last week. What happened with this team in the offseason that made Florida fans think they were going to be so much better? This was a sub-500 team last year. They lost right, mine is that, but they lost some of their best players. They lost their most most explosive running back. You lose your best pass rusher. You didn't replace those guys with guys just as good or better, which means a bad team then takes a step back even further. So I knew we could go out and win this game comfortably, but then I was expecting the Miami to be Miami, and they didn't. They looked ready. They were locked in. They were focused, and they handled business. It was a joy to see, man. It was very relieving to see us actually just do what we can do for once.
Do you have the score predictions from last week? Because I think I'm the only one.
It was close.
I think I'm the only one that said this was going to be like a blowout.
Oh, me and Unc called it close. I think I was 24-20. Unc was like 27-20 or something like that.
Yeah, I had it 17-20. We were both within 4 points.
Like real close.
Yeah.
As I'm watching that game, and again, you know, the gunslinger, you know, mentality of Cam, cool. The thing that I liked, and when I say like, also, you know, just the scary is implied. It didn't bother him. It didn't bother that team. They came right back. I think scored a touchdown the next possession they had the ball, right?
Yeah.
And outside of I think the 71-yard run, where honestly I think was it a linebacker or a DN that just kind of he took the wrong gap and then they got out. Right? Safety.
Yeah, he flew down inside. Yeah,
he had 35. If you take away a 71-yard run, he only had 35 yards. They did everything they wanted to do against Florida, right? Knock Graham Mertz up out of there. They had to put DJ Lagway in there, which was a completely different ball game. Just FYI, if the Gators want to take any positives away from that game, because it ain't much, that game was totally different. I know Miami probably was just pretty much in cruise control at that point, but the offense just changed. And I know it always does anytime you have a mobile quarterback in there anyway, but the way that DJ Lagway changed how that offense actually flowed, they looked more efficient. Right, I think I said before last year, even this year, Graham Mertz wasn't the problem with Florida. He's just not the guy that's going to elevate them to another level or make up for all the lack of talent or explosive talent that they have on that offense. You put DJ Lagway in there, all right, he actually could move the ball for the first time all game against Miami, because Miami can do whatever they wanted to do, right, on all levels of the defense, getting sacks, getting interceptions, and I don't know if that is reason. I guess, again, you can probably speak better to it. Is Florida just really that bad, or is Miami really that good?
I mean, you know me. I'm always going to temper expectations. I'm never going to jump off the ledge and start proclaiming things. I think it's a little bit of both. I think Miami is a good team, right? We talked about the talent they brought in, the proven production. Guys have been this, that, and the third where they came from. Now they're here, including the guys that were already there. Right, because it's not a team that's all transfers. There's some homegrown talent on the roster, and in Florida, while talented, there's talent on that team. They're just not well coached. They're not a physical team. You know, up front, they're not beating people down up front. You know, for all the size, and they have, I think they got a guy who plays over 400 pounds, and Dez Watson. He was getting 21. Literally, we blocked him 1-on-1. Yeah, number 21. We blocked him 1-on-1. Our center got ACC Offensive Lineman of the Week pretty much for blocking him 1-on-1. Like, so for as big as he is, he's not bullying people. You big for fun. Like, you big just to be big. You know what I'm saying? Like, so while they have the talent, they have the body type, they're not doing nothing with it, right? Like, what do they always say? Look like Tarzan, play like Jane? Like,
hey, we got a few of them on our team that's just big for fun, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. So, you know, I just think Florida, obviously, I think Billy Napier's on his way out. I said that coming into the year. I think that's going to be the case. Their schedule just continues to stay hard. Pause. And, you know, I think them boys are in trouble. They're just not a well-coached team. There's talent on the roster. I think Eugene Wilson is probably the most talented receiver on that field. He had 55 yards total, no touchdowns. You know, I just don't think it's come together well. And the biggest thing is up front. If you can't block people and you can't get off blocks, you're not winning football games.
We know.
Like, football is old-fashioned.
All right. I guess for me, the most impressive thing, there's two impressive things that I came away with outside of Cam Ward, because I guess we'll touch on him a little bit later, because I think he's right up there with the Heisman race, but it's way too early. But, you know, he didn't get touched. Like, that offensive line was phenomenal. They made him feel he sat back in the pocket, just going through his reads. He felt comfortable back there. That offensive line is really impressive. But the other unit that I was really impressed with, and we kind of talked about they might be a weakness for this team, was the secondary. Guys weren't just running open. Every pass was a challenge. There was a guy either in your hip pocket or challenging you to catch that ball. I was real impressed with number 7. What's his name?
Jaden Harris.
Jaden Harris. He's a tall, long corner, and he's physical. He's sticky in coverage. I was really impressed in the transfer. He got the only pick in the game. You got that veteran leadership back there. The young boy, Damari Brown, going into year 2, he made a couple plays back there. So, and then you schooled me on number 2. What's his name?
DP2, Darryl Porter.
Darryl Porter. That secondary was really impressive. I know it's not world beaters at wide receiver in Gainesville, right, but they didn't give up much on that back end, and we already know without Ruben Bain what that front four did without him, their best player. So you add that secondary and potentially the step that they took. That defense could be a lot more scary because they were fast, physical, all levels played well together. So that was impressive. The wide receivers, man, who do you guard? Sam Brown could have had a touchdown. All 3 wide receivers could have scored, but Sam Brown, he caught the quick pass in the end zone and had no sense of urgency in getting in the end zone. So it's a really impressive team, to say the least. Now to kind of touch on Florida, man, you got to go with Lagway. Because if you look at this offense under Graham Mertz, it's the same thing as last year. They're not pushing the ball down the field. They're not. Nothing changed offensively from last year. Maybe some new pieces, but if you look at that game, they were still trying to throw laterally to Eugene Wilson instead of getting the ball down the field. You took a shot on a couple deep passes, but that outside of that, a lot of it was dink and dunks. So, but when you seen Lagway get into that game, man, the offense just kind of flowed a little bit better. And if Billy's gonna go down, he's got to go down with his guy.
Well, here's the thing. I think Mertz is his guy. He brought Mertz in there,
but he recruited Lagway. I'm talking about high school.
He did, but he said of all the guys in the portal, Mertz is who he wanted. So he's his guy, right? So, you can't just flush the toilet on him when you went out and brought him in. But I think the danger with Lagway is playing him too soon. I think he's uber talented. I think the kid is legit. But the problem is, or the concern I would have is, you could break a young quarterback early by throwing him to the wolves, especially with the schedule they've got. I think the plan, if I was Billy Napier, would be, I'm gonna ride Mertz until the chatter gets too bad. Can I go out and steal our game against Texas A&M? They just played Notre Dame and they didn't look that great. Can I steal that game against Texas A&M? We beat Tennessee last year. Can I steal that game against Tennessee? Hear me out though, but if I can, cool, I'll ride it out longer because DJ Lagway is his trump card. DJ Lagway is his big joker right now that he's got in his pocket. You don't want to play that too early. If it don't hit, now you just cheeks in the wind.
But if you're coaching for your career, I'm putting all my chips to the center. I'm not saving anything because I could be fired midseason and DJ Lagway is still sitting on the bench. Yeah, and we all know he could transfer after this year.
Yeah, in all honesty, I think Billy Napier is kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think he knows. Even listening to some of his interviews, he knows the writing's on the wall. He's not going to be around. Florida's not the kind of place to where they're going to keep giving you chance after chance after chance. It's Florida. It's the SEC. We shouldn't be here. So for him, at least try to find ways to install DJ Lagway, right? Have him come in, have him play. You're not going to win anything with Graham Mertz. It just is what it is. You're not going to beat Tennessee. You might not beat Texas A&M. You're not going to beat Florida. You're not going to beat any of the big name teams with Graham Mertz and what you have around him. DJ Lagway gives him the best chance to be competitive, not win.
Let's keep it a buck, though.
Be competitive.
And that's my thing. They're going to lose DJ Lagway isn't going to turn it he's not going to be Cam Newton this season. So if you throw him out there, you still going to lose and you're going to lose your job.
I think DJ Lagway could buy him time, if he showed, hey, this is the potential of this kid. But it's a double-edged sword because he could look good, and then the upper management might think, hey, he's probably better off with a different coach, regardless.
In all honesty, if I was running Florida, I would tell Billy, don't play him because you're going anyway, and you're not going to break our new toy.
Exactly.
So,
but he might be. Lagway might
new
leave
coach
regardless.
He might.
Listen, Miami gonna tamper. Know that. hey, know that we tampering.
They already slid him a package already after the game.
Listen, man, Mario gave that boy a real firm handshake and said, "You know where to find him." Hey, look, in all seriousness, though, I think regardless, Billy probably will play the kid, right? So Mercer's in concussion protocol because we lit that joke up. He shouldn't have been talking noise. And so he's probably going to play Lagway. Now you almost have an excuse baked in to do it. Right before it was like, people are like, I don't play the young boy too early. Well, now you kind of got that excuse baked in. Like, look, Mercer's got a concussion. We had to play him. But then if you still go out and you lose, 3 of your next 4, you got Samford next. And then after that, I think they play UCF and then they'll play TAMU. And then they really get into the meat of the schedule.
They play TAMU after Samford.
So, yeah, so Samford, TAMU, UCF, and then I think at Tennessee or something like that. If you go out and you lose 3 of the next 4 with or without Lagway behind center, he's still gone either way. Billy Napier is still gone, regardless of who the quarterback is. So at that point, you almost kind of just taking the kid down with you. But he'll probably do it. He'll probably trot Lagway out there against Samford next week. And if he look good, he'll start him again the week after that. And hopefully he don't do him too much damage because I want him in Coral Gables next year.
We'll see how it goes. Breeze, moving forward for y'all, because you don't want to get into a situation where game 1 is bigger than the rest of the season, right? You want to kind of like what Cam Ward said after the game. I'm gonna celebrate this for 30 minutes and move on to FAMU. Like a lot of teams, they get high off of that first game because a lot of kids haven't experienced this level of, I guess, success or this level of national notoriety. So it kind of gets with you. They're kids, right? So it gets to your head. So how do you think this team's mindset is going to be moving forward? It's not a tough schedule, so you could easily run the table, but you have to approach every week like you did week 1. I know you probably won't get that level of excitement or surrounding the game moving forward outside of maybe Florida State, but how do this team stay focused? Is it solely on the leadership of guys like Francisco Mawinoa, Cam Ward, the veteran guys, or can Mario keep this team intact moving forward?
No, it's got to be the players. The players have got to keep each other in check, keep each other focused. I was looking at some interviews post-practice today, and Jaden Harris was talking about O.J. Frederick, who was a true freshman corner that started. He said, he went out there, he started in a big game, and we won. So I was kind of looking to see how he practiced today. Coming out of that game, he's like, is he going to be feeling himself? Be kind of jogging through reps, and he said he wasn't. And I also quote our starting left tackle, Jalen Rivers. He's like, we've had enough. And it's enough losing. I think those guys are tired of losing. Mario's a coach who really puts them through a lot. So to go through all of that in your off seasons and the winter programs, just to come out and lose ball games, I think they're sick of it. And I think they realize they can do much more. Cam Ward is focused on the NFL. So he can't afford to lay eggs. He can't afford to, you came here to be on the big stage. He can't afford to not show up. Tyler Barron can't afford to not play big and play well. You're trying to go get drafted. So I think the older guys in the room, especially the ones who came in through the portal, who came to be in a big program and be in big games, they know they can't afford to lay an egg against a Virginia Tech or, against a Duke. I think that's their motivation. They realize, like, I got an opportunity to do something. We got a pretty good team, and I'm playing for the big paycheck. I got to show up.
All right. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that we've had enough. And that's gonna take precedence. It's gonna take precedence in this next game that we're gonna talk about. The Florida State Seminoles.
Go ahead, I'm
gonna take my time. The Florida State Seminoles at home against Boston College went down 28-13. at home in the Doak. Coming off of a loss to Georgia Tech in Ireland. They had eight days to think about it, 8 days to fix it. And you go home and you pretty much lay an egg in the Doak against a inferior opponent. I guess, Pump. I'll let you take the floor first because I got a lot to say and I want to collect my thoughts before I say it. I don't want to overreact, but I think we're kind of at that point where we have to overreact. But I'll let you take it away. And what'd you take from that game?
Mike Norvell. I don't think Mike Norvell's a liar because everything that we've heard on the offseason or the preseason was that this team is good. And I don't think that the evaluators of the team or people that we trust, again, I trust Nick Saban's eye. I think I said that last week. I don't think that Nick Saban's the kind of person that's going to say anything on TV just for shock value. That's Pat McAfee. He can do all the dumb stuff and rip his shirt off and just waiting for Nick Saban to hit him with a chair or something one day. Right. There's NFL scouts coming to practice. There's been NFL scouts at these last 2 games. They're looking at the talent that's there. So Mike Norvell, it feels like he completely missed on the evaluation of this team, period. Especially at the most important position. We talk about it all the time. I know I mention it. Look at what Miami's doing. Why? They got a really good quarterback. They hit on the right quarterback, right?
They paid the right quarterback.
Listen, the battle's in. I don't care who it is. Pony up that, make it 2.5.
Right.
Yes. Cut that check.
Because right now, what I'm looking at, there's no reason why, and I think I mentioned it, Breeze, I think you kind of said it. When I was looking at the game in Ireland, I felt like, okay, does Mike still really not trust DJ yet? What's going on in practice? What is it that we aren't seeing that Mike sees and says, not yet. I can't take him. I can't take the training wheels off yet. As I'm watching this game, this should have been a bounce back game. 16.5 points, right? Vegas gave us 16.5.
Generously.
Very generous. And we still sit there. And then I saw Mike Norvell do something that I haven't seen him do probably since the COVID year. He panicked. That 4th down in your territory, man, punt the ball. You probably got one of the best punters in college football. He's going to pin him down there. Punt the ball.
The best punter.
Right? And then to me, if I'm on defense, I'm thinking to myself, when I go out there again, like, oh, now you trust me? Now you want to punt? It's almost telling your defense, I don't trust you either. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get a spark. I'm like, bro, you panicked. That was a panic call.
I think Mike is one of those coaches that tries to do everything to fix it in that moment. And I think that was one of the –
that was a Pop Warner coach call. That wasn't a you know what, Alabama wants me. I'm willing to – Alabama's willing to come here and flirt with me, and Florida says, no, we want to keep you. Let's give you $10 million. That's not the kind of call those kind of coaches make.
It was a terrible call.
That was a dumb call. And I don't expect that from a coach who we thought was building this program up and just took you to a 13-0 season. Now, I don't think that Florida State is just Jordan Travis, but that's what it looked like. Mike completely misread this team. And at this point, he should have just went ahead and said, all right, I can bring in some transfers, whatever. Let's see what we have. All right, let this be a rebuild year, and let's play for 2025. It would have been okay. That totally would have been okay. But right now, you're questioning a lot of stuff at Florida State, and that has a lot of trickle down. Like now in the era of getting paid and all this stuff, you have to manage this totally different. And I don't know if they can salvage. I'm hoping that they can salvage something from this season, because right now it looks horrible. Because Boston College, I think Georgia Tech is actually a decent team. I think that they're an older team. They got veterans on there. They know how to play ball cool. Boston College shouldn't be competing with Florida State in Tallahassee. There's no way that should happen. And y'all had 8 days to figure that out. and y'all played worse than what you did in Dublin. I don't know how that happens.
Go ahead.
So Breeze, first thing I want you to do is block Jay, your cousin. He's in the chat. He's like, my hot take on the FSU tight end has been the worst take ever.
Jay Will, what's up?
Also, and just to reiterate, when I first met Jay, Jordan Travis broke his leg.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He came on the podcast to kick the season off, and we're off to the worst start since 2021.
Don't do that, man. That ain't fair.
I ain't gonna do. That's my guy still, man. But I guess my first thing is, where's the leaders on this team? You had Jared Verse. You knew he was the unquestioned leader of that defense, of the team. You knew Jordan Travis got the offense. I don't see any leaders on that team, and you would hope it would come from that quarterback position. And I'm watching DJU on the sideline. He's just looking. He's just quiet, like not talking to anybody. He's just like he's looking lost out. He doesn't look like a leader out there. He's not. And that if you're looking at that Miami game versus FSU, not in terms of how they played or whatever, but just how the quarterback led his team. Like, players are looking to the quarterback, especially on offense at times, like, what's this guy's makeup? What's his vibration in moments when we're, of despair or we're in trouble? How does he look? And DJU, he didn't look confident. So what was that?
He looks like a dope out there.
He's just expressionless. Like, it's just he's fine either way. Like,
it's okay to be expressionless. Yeah, it's okay to be. Well, it's not okay to be expressionless at the quarterback position. But if that's your personality, at least have conversations with the wide receivers. What are you guys seeing out? Communicate with the team. Pump up the defense. Even James Blackman had more leadership skills than him. He just didn't have the talent. So that was my biggest thing. My first biggest takeaway is there's no leaders on either side of the ball. And on the defensive side, the guys that you would think are leaders aren't even making plays out there on the defensive side. Yeah. So it's hard to follow those kind of guys. And Pump, you mentioned that it seemed like week one, Mike didn't trust DJ to open up the offense. Mike, he threw the ball 42 times this game. So it was the total opposite. Mike was like, all right, y'all want him to throw the ball. Here you go. This is him. He's missing touchdowns, wide open touchdowns in the end zone, that Asha alluded to that SJ could make. When you look at the best player on the offense, wouldn't we agree it's Lawrence Toafili? He carried the ball one time for 5 yards. One time for 5 yards. Roydell Williams 3 times for 10 yards. Yeah. Cam Davis, who's a true freshman, I'm sure he'll be good down the line, had 3 carries, 11 yards.
The team combined for 21 yards.
Exactly.
21.
So look, hold on. Can we, before you kind of go,
I'm ranting. Sorry.
On something really key. No. I think you just hit on something really key. It reminded me of something I saw earlier. And it talked about, to your point, the leadership of last year's team. On the defense, Jared Verse, leader of that team, right? Those linebackers who had that energy and that focus, they were leaders. On the offensive side of the ball, it was clearly Jordan Travis. And what I read was, or what I saw, they alluded to the fact that the guys who were there last year, who were supposed to be carryovers and leaders, they were too busy trying to get paid in the summer, right? DJ Lundy was, incumbent starter as a linebacker. You threaten to leave, you trying to go to Colorado, you trying to get paid. Patrick Payton, you've been in the system for a few years now. Jared Verse was handing the mantle to you. What you doing in the summer? You threatening to go in the portal, you trying to get paid. So it's hard to now be that guy in the summer, and then in the fall, you want guys to fall in line behind you and listen to you. Well, why should I listen to you as the captain or a leader of this team?
Exactly.
You put yourself first in the summer. You wasn't focused on us. You was focused on you.
Yeah,
and exactly.
In all honesty, I think
DJ, who's just not that dude. That's just not his personality. And I thought, it looked good. I just got here. I won't go to ACC media days. Bro, you're the quarterback. Like, that's cool and all, and it sounds great, and it's good for PR, but you're the quarterback. You got to stand in the front. You can't lead from the back. Shout out to my cousin Jay Will, who said this to me years ago about something completely different. He's like, you can't lead from the back. You can only lead from the front.
It also hurts, Breeze, when I think, in all honesty, the leader of that defense right now is probably one of the most tenured guys, Shaheem Brown, the safety. It's hard to also be a leader when you're also one of the people that's making mistakes, which shouldn't happen, right? Yeah. I mean, he's been here. He should know this defense front and back, but at the same time, I think that they're at that point where he's even trying to overcompensate for everybody messing up in front of him.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think he's making mistakes because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to make all the plays, and that's when you start making mistakes.
Correct. So at that point, it's just kind of where I hate using the whole, the culture and, using words like that, but it's weird to see. It's weird to see where this team has come in 3 years, right? I think that we all believe, and again, I was telling big lies at the beginning of the season. Right?
It was lion season.
It was lion season, but in all
honesty, it happens every year.
Yeah, I think that we knew this team was going to take a step back. When you lose 10 guys to the NFL, it's hard to replace that. This isn't the Noles of the 90s where you just replace NFL guy with NFL guy. We ain't there yet, right? We ain't back to that point yet. So we knew we were going to take a step back. I think it's how far you step back. Right, to where, okay, fine, a close game against Clemson, maybe we lose by a touchdown, right? Close game against Miami last year, maybe this time they beat us by 10. It's not taking steps back to where we're the dregs of the ACC. It shouldn't be that. And, some of the stuff that I've been looking at too, I still trust what Mike Norvell is doing and what he's trying to do. It's just the evaluation of this team. It might as well have been. I think even on offense, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The guys that are there, I'm wondering if the type of person that DJ is, would they have just rather said, hey, "Look, we were good without a new guy. We don't really want to play for DJ, and he doesn't seem like a guy they want to play for." I think they would have been cool riding with Brock Glenn. That's how they're acting right now. It seems because nobody seems to want to step up and actually be accountable. It seems like there's no accountability on this football team. That's horrible.
No, I completely agree with you. They don't look like they want to play for DJU. Look at that. We talked about this offensive line going into the season, and they're probably the worst unit, as a whole right now. You can't block up our all preseason All-American left tackle is getting bull rushed by
they're just not good.
Defensive. But there's
you can put Jesus back there. They're not blocking for Jesus either. They just suck.
No, yeah, we get that now, but you're supposed to be this good unit that's had over 2,000 combined starts together.
And what I tell y'all, that they keep pumping that stat out there. This line has the most starts in the NCAA. It don't matter.
What'd you say? What'd you say off air? Mercedes, was it off? No, it wasn't off air, but the earlier segment, Mercedes Lewis played 19 seasons in the NFL. That don't mean he's a Hall of Famer. That don't mean he was great, so longevity doesn't mean anything. Production means more, so just because, like, I mentioned a stat in the offseason, and I'm backpedaling all year long. I'm sorry. Y'all just pull my car or whatever, but I mentioned a stat in the offseason where this offensive unit has all seniors except for one guy. That don't mean nothing because there's no senior leadership on this team. This is probably one of the oldest team in the country, and they're not acting like it. And Breeze, back to what you're saying, guys getting matching Lambo trucks, chains, and all of that, they acting like they already made it, and they're supposed to be the leaders of this team. Daryl Jackson, what has he done in college for him to get all this hype? Breeze, what'd you say? You big for fun? That's it.
You big for fun,
man. Like, I don't know. I don't want to stay too long on this too because we're already an hour and 5 in. But
real quick, I want to just pop this up because I think this is a big piece. And I was talking to somebody else, and they were saying that college football with the NIL now is not like the NFL, but you kind of got to manage it that way. Where if you have guys who are making so much more than everybody else on the roster, and those guys aren't making plays, it affects everybody else. Because now those guys are looking like, well, why should I go out here and ball out and I'm making a fraction of what that dude is making? So, you know, whatever they paid DJ something to come, right? DJ didn't come for free.
I'm sure he's the highest paid player on the team.
He's right. He's probably one of the highest paid players on the team. And so if I'm a receiver, I'm like, he making a bunch of money. He stinks. So, you know, you got to also kind of manage the whole money spending piece of it, because the other side of it is, and I know as fans, y'all are like, hey, bench DJ, and I understand why. But then going back and asking the battles in for money the next time you want a guy, well, it's much harder when they ponied up for this dude and then you bench them after a few weeks. It's going to be hard to get that money again from the collective because they like, well, I can't trust you with my money. Mm-hmm. So it's a fine line. It's a dance you got to manage, because you're going to need those people to open up the wallets again. And if this is what you did the last time they ponied up to get a big name guy or a guy at a key position of need, are they going to be willing to do it the next time?
I think that's actually a good point, Breeze. I was thinking about that a little bit too. I think I was talking to Shannon earlier, and I believe that at this point in time, the way college football is, and it kind of sucks that it has to be like this. Like you legit have to have a GM for your college football team now. But I think for me, if I'm paying money, if I'm a big booster, if I'm part of the battles in, and I'm seeing like, all right, hey, you know what? We missed on this guy. But if you keep trotting DJ out there and this offense is going to be that, what's the ramifications going forward for recruits? What's the people that want to come here, or even transfer guys that want to come here? We're not going to get a Keon Coleman next time. We're not going to get a Jermaine Johnson. We're not going to get some of these guys who were coming before. And now say, I mean, that's cool. I can get $1 million from Texas A&M and be competitive. I would rather go ahead and sit him and say, all right, hey, listen, we know how to cut our losses and keep going and keep winning. I would rather go that way and say, all right, cool. At least you know how to manage and maintain the problem instead of just letting it keep on getting out of control.
My only thing to that is because you're paying, and we can move on, but you're paying him so much. Can you afford to sit him on the bench and have, let's just throw a number out there, a $2 million quarterback sitting on the bench? You almost have to play him because you're paying him so much money. I hate to say it that way, even though me personally, I want him, on the bench, but you're investing, like the collectives and the powers that be are looking at it like, hey, that's my $2 million quarterback you asked me for. Why is he on the bench? Figure it out. So that's another way to look at it, and let's be honest, Brock ain't that good. So you could throw Brock out there,
but I don't know that. And the thing is, if look, I have no clue, right? I feel like we had the same conversation about Carson Beck.
He trash, bro.
No, listen. The only reason I say that is because has any of us seen Carson Beck play ball at all? What do we think about?
Not before last year.
Right, we were asking Sweet Milk, what do you think about Carson Beck? Because we honestly didn't know. We never saw that man throw a football. And now all of a sudden this year, he's a Heisman. I'm not saying that Brock Glenn's going to be a Heisman, candidate, but I have no clue what he is. And
I saw the tape in high school. I saw the elite camps. I seen enough.
Well, then what do you do with Luke Kromenhoff?
He's
right?
the
guy. So again, you have a potential of losing some of these guys if you don't make the right decisions going forward.
So
like in this era of NIL, you might lose Luke. You might lose Brock Glenn, and now what do you have? Who you gonna bring in?
I don't know, man. I think Luke is the guy of the future. You kind of have to ride DJU out the rest of the season, unfortunately. It's a tough pill to swallow, but you got competition coming in with Tramel Jones, and then you got Brock and Luke, so that's a good competition. But to trot Brock out there, it's going to look worse. I hate to say it. He's not that great. Emotionally speaking, I want DJU on the bench, but logically, I think the best thing to do is leave him out there.
So you still telling lies? Stop it.
All right, we got it.
Hey, let's keep rolling, man.
Go Noles.
Go Noles. Whatever. Moving on. Dang. Clemson, man. We got to talk about Clemson.
All right, this is a quick conversation.
Quick conversation. Clemson, they
This is
lost
quick.
to Georgia 34-3. Has Dabo's? I'm gonna throw it out to cousin Matt because you've been quiet all night. Has Dabo's well-run dry at Clemson?
It's dry. It's dry. He doesn't have a top quarterback, top 5 quarterback in the country, a top quarterback prospect at Clemson. They're not great. Like I remember when he had Taj Boyd and everyone was hyping up Clemson. He didn't win nothing. He only won when he got Deshaun Watson, and then he got right back into it with Trevor Lawrence. Since then, what has Clemson really done? And he doesn't believe in the transfer portal. So like we have history of him prior to having a generational quarterback in Deshaun Watson in college football. You could say he's probably one of the best top 15 ever, top 10 ever, however you want to slice it up. Trevor Lawrence, you can say he's one of the best quarterbacks, some could say. Besides that, they haven't done anything. Like, they're not a great team to me. I hate Clemson. I'm biased. But
Clearly.
I don't believe in them. Like, they have talent, but I think he has to have that generational type quarterback to win games. To be honest, Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson are there. I don't see them winning. I think it's run out. I think people are going to be tired. I think Clemson's a smart school and they're loyal, but I think they're definitely just tired of the headlines going on with Dabo that they'll probably move on from him this offseason.
No.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. Listen, you're talking about a guy who took a college football program who never knew what winning even smelled like. They never had been around it. And he went out and won 2 natties. And a couple of seasons at 9-3, at worst, maybe 8-4. Yeah, no, they're not firing him yet. He will, because here's the other thing that's gonna happen. He's gonna get an ACC play. And he's gonna go win at least 8 games. He might win 9 games, right? He plays Florida State. Okay, cool. Maybe that's a loss based on the conversation we just had. Maybe that's not a loss. He will play NC State. Maybe it's a loss. Maybe it's not a loss, right? Even last year, they fell off. He still won 9 games. So I don't think he's going to be fired anytime soon, but I do think the goodwill is going to run out, and he's pushing it. If he don't make some changes, it's going to be one of those situations in the offseason where, like, the AD will come down and be like, all right, man, time to give up play calling. Kind of like what Texas A&M did with Jimbo. They was like, all right, go hire your OC. That bought him another year. They're going to be, all right, go ahead and dip in that portal, big dog. It'll buy him another year. And if it's more the same, then they'll have some hard conversations.
Yeah.
But I think he's good for at least another season or 2.
Yeah, I think Dabo's almost in that. If he ever gets pushed out, it'll be in that Bobby Bowden manner, because he's a king in Clemson, right?
Yeah,
he did more in Clemson than any other coach has ever done, right? So they're not going to force him out, but they might give him a little nudge, and be like, "Hey, bro, look." Yeah, and to be honest, as I was watching that game, one thing that's been consistent about Clemson is defense. Up until that second half, I'm like, okay, so Clemson still got that defense. Cool. And then Georgia said, all right, we're still Georgia. And then they did what they did. They don't have any offense. Clubman is not the guy. Clearly.
Stinky.
He's not that guy, right? Nothing at all. And if you don't have any kind of quarterback competency, you have no chance against Georgia. And clearly 34-3 shows that. But to still hold Georgia to what, 3 points, 6 points?
6 points at the half.
I'm like, okay. It was clear they weren't going to score. So you better hope your defense just rocks out the rest of the way. But they can't do that against Georgia. But in the ACC, I can see Clemson still having the best defense or the second best defense in the conference and do exactly what he did, because they're not going to play Georgia's every week.
No.
True.
So, yeah, again, he's looking at another 9, maybe 10-win season.
Yep.
I wish they were in the SEC. I hate Clemson so much.
Why? However, y'all bummy too. He still ain't playing Georgia every week, even in the SEC.
I think they're a middling. They're around a little bit better than Mizzou. Maybe an 8 win team in the SEC.
Didn't Mizzou win 10 games last year in the vaunted SEC?
I think Mizzou. I'm talking about like the history of Mizzou, not just Mizzou last season.
Oh,
yeah.
I
think
you
look at the SEC, it's like the top 25 is SEC teams. I just think if they were in our conference, they would have been win around 8-9 games.
Clemson usually has a SEC type defense. If you put
They
that
do.
defense in the SEC, it'll play. They just don't have a good offense.
Again, they held Georgia to 6 points at the half, which means they're holding virtually everybody else in that conference to that or less. The defense is legit, and they've had generational quarterbacks.
Yeah, what I tell you,
everywhere.
unless you have sunshine or happy endings, you're not going to do nothing.
Whoa.
All right. And we're moving on.
The thing that I found funny was all the memes on Dabo, where they were like, "No, it's God's name, image, and likeness."
Yeah.
And there was one where it was like John 3 verse 34.
That's South Carolina, boy.
It said, "Dabo, are you washed?" He said, "Yes, I'm washing the blood of the Lord."
Hey man, shout out to Dabo. You can't discredit his greatness, but he has to do something with that offense, man. Because one thing he's gonna do is roll out a good D. Pause.
Yeah. All right, we gotta keep rolling.
All right, let's keep rolling. Notre Dame took on TAMU, won 23-13. Is Notre Dame serious this year, or
yes,
they are? Why?
I think so. I think that defense is legit, and I think Riley Leonard is a quarterback who is dangerous as a college quarterback. He probably won't be an NFL guy, but in college, he's dangerous. He can move the chains with his legs. He's very good in the pocket. He can throw well enough. They had the better receivers out there on that field. Notre Dame typically has a defense that's pretty legit. They went and got Oben from Duke, who was one of the better DNs in the ACC last year. Yeah, I think Notre Dame is a solid team. I think Notre Dame is typically a top 15 team. They just can't beat the top 5 teams. So as long as they're not playing the team in the top 5, they'll be just fine.
Your Heisman pick. No bueno.
Hey, that's my worst take so far, boy. That boy Wegman was bunsy.
No bueno.
Yeah, that boy was stinky.
Started out good. All right. Last game of week 1 that I kind of want your thoughts on. Actually, all of us were wrong on this game. USC took down LSU 27-20. We all took LSU because we thought they were more physical on defense. But another year, another Brian Kelly loss in week 1. Are we taking USC for real, or is it just the thing that LSU does every beginning of the season?
I'm not.
I think you go ahead.
I'm not. I don't. I mean, I think it's a good win. I think, like you said, the Brian Kelly he just loses about 2-3 games, and it's like, man, you can't ever really win the big game that we all are expecting you to win or want you to win. I feel like it's every season. Then he does his press conference. He's like, we'll clean it up, and they do clean it up. They'll come out and they'll beat some nice quality opponents, and they'll be in the bowl game that you might not watch because a lot of the players will probably declare for NFL they want to play in it. But as far as USC, I think it's does Lincoln Riley have a defense? So it's if the defense is consistent and can kind of keep on par with the offense, I need to see it for a whole season. I don't want to see it for one game. Then it's like, okay, is USC really are they cooking with grease here? But as Lincoln Riley's teams, I never really believed in their defenses. That's why they always are in these crazy shootouts. So I really want to see the defense before I give up. I believe in them statements.
I'm with you on that. I think that if you play LSU in the first week, it's never a good really read on what your team is, because this is what they do, right? They're 0-3 now in big game, right? We beat them 2 years in a row now.
They're 0-5 their last season opener since 2019.
So yeah, that's not going to be the litmus test right now for USC. I got to really see if they can put something together consistently on defense, because none of us believe in that defense, right? I think the 4 of us can go out there and get some yardage for sure. I do like what's the quarterback? Miller Moss. Now him, I like. He's a gamer. I do like him. I think they got some weapons on offense that they can be strapped. I think in the Big Ten, they'll give some teams some headaches. I just don't know how far it's going to go on defense. They still got to stop somebody. I don't think they're gonna stop.
Well, here's the thing for USC. Their season was really only 3 games. It was the LSU game. They play at Michigan on September 21st. They'll play Penn State at home on October the 12th, and then they play Notre Dame at home on November 30th. That's the season. Michigan's offense looked terrible. They didn't even start the quarterback we all thought they were going to start. Penn State, nobody believes in Drew Alar and that offense. And then Notre Dame, y'all, half the people in here don't believe in Notre Dame. So this was going to be one of their biggest tests. So we may not get a chance to find out if that defense is legit until they're playing for a Big Ten championship potentially, which is crazy because nobody was looking at USC to take a step forward considering they went 7-5 with Caleb Williams.
If Penn State continues to play the way they played, because Drew Law looked straight, he looked okay, better than he did last year in big games. If that offense is cool, then I think that'll be their first real test. Then, at least for the season,
we'll see.
We'll see. You know, it's week 1. Crazier things have happened, and you can't really take what happens in week 1 and kind of dictate what's going to happen down the line, because teams look great in week 1, ended up not looking good towards the end of the season, and vice versa. One thing we do know is the Noles suck, the Gators suck, and
South Carolina sucks.
Georgia's still Georgia. South Carolina, I want to bring it up. Y'all almost lost to Old Dominion.
ODU.
What was that?
You said ODU. I said we suck.
I was talking about ODU.
So we ran the ball 56 times for 174 yards. That's terrible.
I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about the real life game. Y'all need to get that rate. The rate is down on NCAA, man.
They gotta fix that, man. Yeah. They gotta fix it.
We could have had Kirby Smart. That's all I'm gonna say.
We ain't gonna touch on that.
Did anybody want to mention the 41 for 49?
I mean, I mentioned it. Listen, I don't want to overreact. Yeah, Oregon throwing the ball 49 times against Idaho at home. You know, they connected on 41 of them. They won 24-14. I don't know what that is. I don't want to overreact. I don't want to freak out to it, but it's not a good sign, right? You throw the ball. He threw for 380 yards. It only came out to 2 touchdowns. As a team, they only put up 24. 10 of those came in the fourth quarter. That's not a good look for Oregon. Don't want to overreact. You know, what is it? Penny wise, pound foolish to start making season-long determinations based on one game. But that's just not good. Running game didn't do a whole lot. You know, that's not a good look for Oregon if you trying to go win some cold weather games over there in Michigan or at Ohio State or even a Penn State. That ain't gonna cut it.
I don't know if they were just toying around. I mean, he hit 10 different receivers. The longest only went for 24. So that was just a weird stat line, man. Like, you see somebody connect on 41 passes.
What was it, like Ted Johnson, 12 catches, like 60, 80 yards?
Yeah,
what are we doing? Jarvis Landry?
I don't know.
PPR, man. They run the numbers up. It was they all playing in a PPR league.
That's crazy.
And, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Oregon, so you kind of have to give them grace. And then it could be also a thing of, you know, plugging in quarterbacks in a certain system that doesn't really carry over in year 1. Like some quarterbacks have to be in a certain system for at least 2 years to kind of know the checks, know where to go with the ball and everything like that. So me personally, you gotta give Oregon and Dan.
Bro, stop it. They was playing Idaho. Cut it out.
I'm gonna say they better figure that out.
Idaho, man.
Ohio State comes into town. They better figure that out.
I think they will. But let's not harp. We still got to talk NFL at some point.
I'm ready.
It'll be a short one.
There's really only one game I want to talk about for week 2, and that's Michigan and Texas. How do we see that game going? Let's go around the horn real quick, get a quick score prediction. I'll start with Matt.
24-20 Michigan.
24-20 Michigan.
Close one.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to – are they starting Orgy? I don't think they are.
No, he didn't start.
Davis Warren started. I don't think they're going to start him the second game, so I think it's going to be close.
Where's the game at?
It's in Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in Michigan right now as it stands. Texas is getting 7.5 points from Vegas. The over-under is at 42.5. Personally, I'm taking the under on that 42.5 because where's the offense coming from? One, I think Michigan's offense is stinky. Donovan Edwards is solid, yeah, but if I'm not worried about you throwing the ball and I'm just going to load the box up, I'm going to dare Davis Warren to go beat me throwing the ball, and I don't think he can do it. And then conversely, Michigan has arguably the best defense in the country. Will Johnson is cornerback 1. Mason Graham is D tackle number 1. Their other D tackles probably going to be a first or second round pick. So I don't think Texas is going to light them up either. Give me the under on the total of 42.5 points, and give me Texas to not cover the 7.5. I got like 20-13. Michigan gets a couple of field goals. They find a way to get maybe Will Johnson gets a pick like he did last week when he sealed the game up. And, they get a short field and find their way into the end zone. I don't expect Michigan to score a lot. I don't expect Texas to score a lot either, but I think they'll score more than Michigan will.
You're a Michigan guy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, amazing Blue.
I'm a Michigan guy, but you guys know how I feel about good quarterback play, man. There's nothing there right now that makes me believe that Michigan's offense. I mean, first of all, Michigan's offense wasn't good last year either. They just were backed by an amazing defense, but at least they had a stable, solid quarterback who knew what he was doing. I don't know if they have that right now. Quinn Ewers he could be playing for a Heisman right now. So I mean, they clearly got the better quarterback. I'm gonna go Texas, 24-10.
Okay. I'm kind of with Pump. Michigan's offense wasn't that good last year to begin with, and then they took a step back this year. The defense is always going to be good at Michigan, or somewhat good. Best corner in the game. We don't know what's going on at quarterback, and you can't rely on Donovan Edwards to carry the load. If you're smart and you're Sark, you're going to load the box and force them to throw the ball. And I don't think that's something they could do really well. And it boils down to quarterback play. And I think Texas probably has the best 2 in the game in this game. So the fact that your backup is better than their starter says a lot. So I'm going with Texas. They got the experienced head coach as well. We don't know much about Sharon and what he's doing. We don't know if the moment's going to be too big for him or if he's going to put his guys in the right position. So give me Texas 24 to Michigan 10.
That's tough.
Yeah. All right. If y'all don't have anything else on college, let's get some NFL in real quick and get up out of here.
See if Xavier Lee still got eligibility.
What's with you and trash quarterbacks?
All right, bro. Dang.
All right, let's move on. Lamar Villas versus Pat Mahomes Thursday night. Well, we got a Lamar Villas fan club member in the house.
Y'all know I'm leading the fan club for Marvelous.
I think Lamar, man, I don't want to say it's a prove it year, but this game, don't
prove it. He has 2 MVPs.
Prove it.
Why is he prove it?
I get the MVPs and all the accolades, but you can't get close. You know what I mean? You can't get close to going to the chip and fall short. You could only do that so much.
Who's catching passes?
Zay Flowers and Zoe.
Who
ran the ball? Who ran the ball last year? Gus Edwards. Come on,
get him,
man.
Gus.
So,
Gus.
Now he does have Derrick Henry now, so you assume the running game will even be better.
That's
somehow.
Never been an issue.
But who's catching passes? They're a one-dimensional team. They still won't give him a receiver.
Who's the running back coach?
Willie Taggart. Shout out to
Hey, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not playing that game with y'all.
Well, Willie had his feet kicked up on Monday night.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, Derek about to go for 1,500.
I'm not doing this, man.
They're about to go with 1,500 this year, boy.
I'm not doing
watching the
this,
Knowles
man.
game with a cigar.
17 M's. That boy up 17 M's.
Come on, man. Anyway,
Playing Plies ran off on the plug
Twice.
Man, listen.
All
All right, real deal.
What we doing? Yeah, what we
So,
doing?
For Lamar, right? I think Lamar, you guys got to be honest about this. I'm glad that they got him some help, even if it is in the form of just another running back. It's more offensive help than he's probably had. I know you guys want to get him a wide receiver, and I get it. 2 MVPs, cool, but he's on the verge of being Black Peyton Manning.
That's where I was getting at.
Like,
It's a great thing.
So I mean, like, yeah, it's a great thing, but Peyton finally got him a ring. At some point, you have to get past the hump, and I think that's what I was alluding to. You can have the MVPs, you can have all the regular season stats. We've yet to see Lamar do it when it matters, and that's a big thing for Lamar. So hopefully, maybe they can. Some of these other wide receivers step up. I think Zay Flowers is a good receiver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Andrew stays healthy, we know how he is with his tight ends. We'll see how it goes, man. I think Baltimore's going to be all right.
They're going to be fine, but they're playing with one arm behind their back. Like you have to have a receiver, a wide receiver one. Like you just have to have it, man.
You don't think Zay Flowers can be that guy?
Wide receiver one? No, man. I don't.
He's a perennial slot receiver.
It's not a receiver. That's not a wide receiver one, man. The fact that they refuse to go get Lamar some real help is just gross incompetence, in my opinion.
My thing is, outside of Tyreek Hill, did Pat Mahomes have? And I know it's a bad comparison, but who's his receivers? So I think
I don't know if that's.
Travis Kelce, you can call him the receiver one.
Well, you got Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, and you got a good running game.
Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce.
I'm not saying he's Travis, but that's Travis Kelce is one guy. Lamar has options too, so we can't keep making these wide receiver excuses. He's not going to get an elite wide receiver. Figure it out. You're winning MVP. You're winning MVPs without it, so you're good enough to get to the where you need to get to. Now, when you get to the playoffs and you fall short, you can't say, "Oh, it's the wide receivers." So why did you win these MVPs? And I love Lamar, so I'm not trying to bash him either.
Yeah, my rebuttal would be, what pass catcher is going to be a Hall of Famer off any of these Ravens offenses? Travis Kelce is a bona fide Hall of Famer. Tom Brady had Gronk, bona fide Hall of Famer.
I get that.
Who's a Hall of Famer that he's had ever?
I get that, but you're missing my point. You're still winning MVP, so obviously you're doing good enough. So is the reason why they're not getting over the hump in the playoffs is solely based on wide receiver play?
Well, we know the playoffs and the regular season ain't the same. It's different. I mean we've said this. We've said that on this show.
I mean, the
same game.
The regular season plays a role in you being a Hall of Famer too. Now, come on. So you can't
right. So
say
Lamar's the only Hall of Famer. He's the only one. But at some point, because here's the other thing, they're going to play 17 games. There's not 17 playoff teams they're playing. So they're beating a lot of the teams who won't be there. When you get to the playoffs, you get to the AFC Championship, and you have to beat the Chiefs. You cannot go in there one-dimensional. You're not beating them in the playoffs as a one-dimensional team. So it's not, in the regular season, he's beating up on the Patriots and the Browns and whoever else. Cool, you can do that. We're talking AFC Championship? No, that's not going to get it done.
But when you go into the playoffs and you're the better team, because the Chiefs weren't supposed to win that game, you're supposed to win the games you expected to win.
Who was supposed to win that game last season?
Why wasn't the Chiefs? Yeah,
the Chiefs had a top defense last season, surprisingly.
The Ravens did too.
But think about it. The best quarterback was Mahomes. Offense was clicking at the right time, and the defense was on fire. The Ravens defense was sputtering to who was it? CJ Stroud? Or who was it? Yeah, CJ Stroud. At halftime, they were struggling with CJ. And then the running attack with Gus Bus caught a flat tire. And then Zay, like you said, he's a perennial slot. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he ain't taking over the game. He can take over the game, he ain't gonna win the game. As we saw, he was trying to reach over the goal line and fumble. It's like, I mean, Omar is right.
I think y'all are letting Lamar off the hook, and I don't want to like dive too deep into it, but
we got to keep going too.
Yeah. So how do we see this game going? Who do we have in this game? Week
Chiefs.
1, Chiefs,
Chiefs.
Ravens.
Does it matter? Does it really matter?
Did she make a Ravens thing?
Like
I know week 1 doesn't prove anything, but it's still a game. It's a game being played.
What's the spread? Like to me, beginning of the year for NFL is more about just betting.
Yeah, I think we should real quick. I'll tell you a spread. The spread is Kansas City -3. Game is in Kansas City. Kansas City, right. I think will win. Let's do our annual division winners. Let's run through the divisions and let's pick winners.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna take it that route.
And give me the Chiefs to cover the spread, by the way.
Yeah, I like Chiefs. I like Chiefs to win and cover.
Give me Lamar and them boys, man.
Really?
After all that.
After saying
after all
right.
All right.
I don't like kick my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch. Yeah, I grind my feet on this couch. I'm sorry.
Richie bite on the couch.
Yeah.
Lamar got to show me something, man.
He been showing you 2 MVP.
Another MVP.
Right.
All right, division winners, guys.
Let's do it.
You want me to tee it up?
No, I got you. Let's start over in the AFC East. We got the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. Who's winning this division?
Fins.
Fins up.
Fins up?
Do they do that?
I hope not.
I don't think they do that. But yeah, fins up.
So even with a healthy Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson in that defense,
I gotta see it.
If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy and Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, you went and got Mike Williams.
If
Aaron
Rodgers is 7 years old, man.
All right. Brady was what? And won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jets. I'm going Jets. I don't believe in Miami in close games and cold weather. Go Jets.
Y'all putting y'all chips on Tua, Tagovailoa, like Rick Ross said.
Have they not won like 10 games for the last several seasons? It's not like
they did not win the division last year.
They can't get it done in the playoffs usually. Regular season, they're a good team.
Who has the better defense?
I'm going Jets.
Jets have better defense.
There it is.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers hurt again, it won't matter.
I'm saying this. Yeah, and I'm saying this with Aaron Rodgers being healthy. And shout out to Jay Trav, who's the backup.
Right.
Go Noles. All right, moving on. Obviously, we don't believe in the Bills, and we don't. I know Breeze, you don't believe in Josh Allen at all, and we don't know what New England's doing. Shout out to that black man though. All right, moving on. The AFC West, we got the Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers. Who do we got?
Pat and Andy.
Right, the same people who've been winning it.
This is such a mid division.
Hey! Broncos will be second in the division.
Stop it!
That ain't hard to be in here.
Hey, okay.
Hey.
It's hard to be.
Give me 9 wins. I'll take it with both.
Hey, listen, this is legit. This is legit turning into what what Tom Brady had for 20 years in New England, just playing in a trash division for all this time. Like, Chiefs ain't gonna be stopped in this division anytime soon.
Hey, shout out to Khakis though.
Oh, Khakis is coming now.
Khakis
might get him right.
Hell now.
He'll get him right.
All right. Moving on. The AFC North, the Ravens, the Bengals, Browns. This is a tough division. And the Steelers.
Arguably the hardest division. It's arguably.
Joe Burrow.
Arguably. Okay, arguably. That's fair.
You know, I don't believe in Russell Wilson. Give me the Ravens still.
Yep. Give me the Marvelous.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Does Jamar play week 1?
He better play.
Who knows?
If the Bengals could only keep Joe Burrow upright and healthy.
If
you saying they should have took Penei Sewell instead of Jamar Chase?
I'm not doing that.
He's setting you up. You walk right into it.
Joe stays healthy. Give me Cincy to win the division.
Cincy. All right. AFC South, Texans, Colts, Chargers, Jaguars, Titans.
Yeah.
Give me Dixie Hollins.
Hey, no, that's not fair. I think the Texans gonna be legit. I said CJ Stroud is my MVP pick. Give me the Texans for sure.
MVP? Ooh.
Yeah, I got CJ Stroud for MVP.
We'll get to our MVP picks at the end.
Oh my bad.
I got
we did
Texas
it already.
for sure.
Did we?
Yes, we did
Yeah,
it like
we
2
did
weeks
last
ago.
week.
We gotta do it again. Give me
Jay
the
Will talking
Texans.
about he done lost his Cincy.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah, I'll take Texans.
All right. You don't believe in the Colts, Jags? You don't believe in
No.
Sunshine?
No.
All right, let's move over to the NFC East, or
Fuck
like
me now,
most
over.
would say, the NFC least. You got
Right.
the Cowboys, the Giants, Eagles, and the Commandos.
I know who's coming in last.
Hey,
give me them boys to win it.
Yeah, I got Cowboys.
Fly,
Cowboys?
Eagles, fly.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah.
Give me
On
the
the
Eagles.
road to victory.
I think the book is out on Jalen Hurts, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Can't
He'll
throw.
have a bounce back. I think he has the best wide receiver core in that division, minus
Yes.
CeeDee Lamb. He's got Saquon. I'm interested to see what Saquon does in that offense.
Yeah.
He's also the second worst quarterback in the division now. I take Jalen Daniels over him today.
Wow. All right. And he's got the
love
entire
Jaden.
Georgia Bulldogs defense. So we'll see how
Let's
that
have that.
goes.
That's not a bad
Okay.
thing to have.
All right, NFC West. You got the Cardinals, Rams,
Oh wait,
49ers.
Jay Will asked Jay Will asked the question. Did Wilson make the roster?
I think he made the roster, but he's
Wilson.
concussed. He's concussed at the moment. He was
Some
projected
Joker
to.
always hurt.
Yeah.
He's projected to start, but somehow he.
Yeah,
caught
I'm
a
worried about
concussion.
Johnny, man. Johnny's one of them cats, man. I think he might have a short career. Too many concussions, man.
Yeah,
Well,
that's terrible.
I mean, Asha was talking about the ring on the helmet, so he could invest
Yeah,
in that.
give him-
You know,
He
Give him
better
that
wear
helmet diaper. Yeah, give him the helmet diaper.
the
better
helmet
wear-
condom.
Yeah, give him that.
Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks in the NFC West. Are we all taking the
That's it.
Niners?
Yeah.
Something
Safe
special.
today, man.
Yeah.
All right.
They paid Trent. I'm happy with it.
Hey, man, shout out to that boy Trent, man. Trent holding
Silverback.
people hostage every offseason.
As he should.
Good.
He's the
Good.
best lineman in the game still.
Best
And-
tackle in the game.
Washington gave him up for a 5th round pick. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Pump. The much anticipated NFC North. The Bears, the Lions, Packers, and Vikings. Talk to me,
Yeah,
Pump.
shake weight.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. The Bears will win the NFC North.
Cap.
Guaranteed.
Guarantee.
Guaranteed.
Hey, Breeze, we need that sound bite with Takeoff. Cap.
Mm-mm.
Cap. Stop the cap.
Listen,
Stop
I'm,
the cap right
hey,
now.
I'm
Hey,
right
give me
on,
the
I'm right
Lions,
on time. I still got to find that episode. I'm right on time. The Bears will make the playoffs by 2024.
Man, please.
Damn it,
Man.
bro.
Dan
Throw the
Campbell
cap
bite
in the air, bro.
kneecaps.
Right.
Dan Campbell bite kneecap. Give me the Lions.
Give me the Lions.
Give me the line.
My bad.
man.
My bad, Jay. I should have been shouting out all your picks. He's been picking every single one. He got the
Gets
Lions.
going off this season.
And we
Yeah, I
All right,
don't know.
bring it home.
and we're not taking the highest paid quarterback in the league, I presume.
Who,
Yo,
Jordan?
Yeah.
Nah.
All right. Let's close it out with the best division in football.
You already know who
NFC,
wins.
the NFC South. Falcons,
You already-
Panthers, Saints, or as Breeze would say, the Aints and the
Aints.
Buccaneers. Who we got?
Falcons.
Falcons.
Tampa!
Bay!
Tampa!
Falcons.
Bay!
I'm
Why
a
the
cousin
Falcons?
Max.
Bro,
Why the
are you crazy?
Again, if we're doing the if,
Your
Kirk
smoke
Cousins
crack,
healthy
don't
off
you?
season,
If what?
The jump.
He dunked his
The
fun
jump.
fact, boy.
Listen, they
Falcons. The defense is nice.
Y'all betting on
Weapons
Kirk
offense.
Cousins?
Okay.
To win football games in the regular season? Yes.
Stop.
Okay.
hold on. Look,
All right.
wait. On
Y'all
paper,
y'all betting on Drake London
on
over
paper,
Mike
Yeah.
Kyle
Evans?
Pitts.
on paper. Look at what the Falcons
Yeah.
actually have as a roster. They
The
just
defense is nice.
they needed competent quarterback play. Kirk
Who's
Cousins is a
better?
competent quarterback.
Who's better than
they fix
Vita Vea? Who's better than Vita Vea and Antoine Whitfield on that team?
You got AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons. Who they just get on the defensive line? I'm naming a plethora of people, not just two. Matthew Judon. They still got Grady Jarrett. He's old but still reliable. He's still good.
I mean,
You know what? You know what that sounds like? Sorry, Unc. That sounds like when we do the Florida State preview and Unc can name the whole 85-man roster. Just because you know the names don't mean they doing
Jesse
that.
Bates is the best safety in the league.
They fixed that offensive line. He's better than Antoine Winfield.
stop it.
I said,
Don't do that.
Look at the stats last season. He was pretty good.
Stats don't make you better than somebody.
Hey, get me out of here, man.
You're right.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll say
Don't acquiesce to his foolishness.
he's a premier safety.
And then if
So
we're
you got
throwing
two
out
premier safeties. They can
if we're
cancel each
throwing
other
out
out.
old guys out there, we could throw out Levante David. He's old, but he's still good.
He's
good.
Name names.
He's
Did
good.
they fix that offensive line? They fixed the offensive line? No.
We got the
Who's
best
running back?
the second best
Who's
left
running back?
tackle in the game.
Like, what are we talking about? The Falcons?
I got the Falcons.
Falcons.
All right.
I mean, well, you know what? Me and Bree stand and Mike gonna have another 1,000-yard season.
Yeah,
Probably
he will. I'm not saying he won't.
Rough, my defense tough. Go.
Mike Evans will have
Bucks.
another 1,000-yard
Bucks.
season. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the best ever. Underrated.
Yeah.
When my love goes bang, 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 you better run.
I got the Falcons.
Cannons!
I got the Falcons. That wasn't that tough, though, to be honest.
All right,
right, man.
Let's wrap this
Yeah.
up, man. Who's winning? Well, we already did it, so I'm not even going
Brock Purdy,
talk
dude.
about it.
Purdy?
Who's winning Super Bowl?
Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Chiefs.
Asha said the
Chiefs.
Bucks.
Nah.
Chiefs
I
over
would
the
agree.
Lions.
I can't bet against
Chiefs over
Mahomes.
Yeah, I
Chiefs over
agree.
the Lions.
I think we get a
It's so
rematch.
Another rematch of 49ers Chiefs?
I think we get a rematch.
I think Lions get them. I think
Yeah,
Lions
give me Chiefs again, man. I can't see anybody beating them.
Jay talking about wrap it up. Who you got, Jay?
Yeah, he's right. I'm with Jay.
Chiefs.
All right. Hey, I'm taking the Chiefs too. As always, it's been another week of the Somebody Said podcast.
This man said the Ravens.
The Ravens.
The Marvelous.
All right.
Hey, I mean, I hope so, but we'll see. The man to my top left is the one and only Turnpike Breeze, South Beach Breeze. We ballin' boys, Breeze. You got nothing
The
for
biggest. The biggest.
me? That's it? That's the drop? All right, the man to my bottom left is the one and only Pumpy Johnson. He's not on the ones and twos, but my fellow no brother, we gonna make it through the season. On liquor, of course.
I think Drew Weatherford might have one more year of eligibility.
All right.
Here you go with these trash quarterbacks, bro. That was okay. That was your drop, Drew Weatherford, out of Land O'Lakes. The man to my bottom right is cousin Matt.
All right. Appreciate y'all having me.
And shout out to Jay in the comments, keeping it fun in the comments, and come back, bro. We're here.
Appreciate
we're here every
it,
week.
Will.
We're here every week.
Appreciate you.
And shout out to Asha, who's on the couch. We're about to take some shots. It's SJ's birthday. 2 years old come midnight. So
Happy birthday.
shout out to the great one. He hasn't been great this year so far, but hopefully he turns it around.
Angel Reese double again.
The savior of Florida State football is.
Wait a minute. So he shares his birthday with Beyonce?
It's Beyonce's birthday
tomorrow?
Absolutely.
I mean, my dog is a GOAT, It's only right.
Nice. All right.
The savior of Florida State football.
Somebody
I
mute.
see you with the smirk on your face as you say it. All right, and I'm the one and only Unk. And I'm out. I got nothing. We suck. The Noles suck.
You got the Bucks.